Why are Polish winters so depressing? This is my third Polish winter. I wouldn't say that it gets better, but it gets easier because you know what to expect. I'm from Los Angeles, right? We have cold weather, but it doesn't really get lower than maybe like 3 degrees Celsius. And only for a couple of months. We could still go to the beach in November. It's crazy. And it's not really the cold that bugs me. I think it's definitely more just the overall grayness and the lack of sun. Because right now there's snow and the sun is out. And when it's like this, it's absolutely fantastic. But when it gets dark and gray and the sun sets so early, like around 3:30 p.m., then it feels extremely depressing. I really like cold weather though. The cold makes you a lot more introspective. It gives you an excuse to just stay at home. And also, if you're seeing somebody, it's a chance for you to bond with your partner and explore the relationship a lot deeper. I swear the biggest cause for this depression is the time change. Everything is great until daylight saving happens around October, and then the days all of a sudden get way shorter. And I think this is the biggest reason why people struggle with mental health so much during this time. I know the country has been trying to change this for a while, and I think if the country is doing a lot of construction or developing a lot like Poland is right now, it makes sense to have the schedule more favored towards the morning, and I think that helps a lot with morning workers specifically.
Yeah, look at all that snow. I mean, I feel bad for these cars that have so many layers of snow on top of it. Look at this, it's like 2 inches, maybe even 3. But look at the view when there's snow. Can you imagine if this didn't have any snow? If it was just dirt and sloshiness? It's so great. I love cold weather.
There's also like this feeling of laziness that you get during the holidays. Is it just me? I had like zero desire to work at all, and all I wanted to do was hibernate every single day, sleep 10 to 11 hours, and play video games. And if you embrace it instead of trying to fight it, I felt like winter is a lot more enjoyable. So apparently 10 to 15 years ago, winters here used to be a lot more wintry. The worst winters are when there's no snow and it fluctuates around like -1 degrees, 3 degrees. So you kind of have this like weird sloshy mess outside, right? Lately, we've been getting proper snow in Warsaw. The vibe is just more happy and more fun because kids get really excited when they're playing in the snow. A lot of people are out, especially on Sundays in the parks, sledding in the parks.
Look at that frozen river. Oh.
When I was back in the US, my family, we would always meet for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Now that I'm alone and all my family's back in the US, it does kind of feel like something's missing. Also, you want to stay off of social media during the holidays if you're all alone, because that will make you feel so depressed, I swear to God. A lot of people say that, oh, I can be lonely, I don't need to be with other people, I'm very introverted. I get wanting to be alone sometimes, right? But I think there's a special energy during the holidays that makes you just want to be around loved ones. And if you're not around people that you care about during the holidays, it definitely feels a lot more depressing. And I think every foreigner who is living here, especially the ones that don't speak Polish or don't have a Polish boyfriend or girlfriend, I think they really feel it too. During the winter, I crave intimacy a lot. Now, a lot of people will just read that as me wanting sex, but I actually think it's a lot deeper than sex. To be honest, I don't even think I'm driven by sex that much like I am during the summer. I think people's libido definitely goes up in the summer. But when you're all alone in a city during the holidays, it becomes very lonely. And I don't think a lot of people talk about this, especially in countries that have a very strong family culture like here in Poland. It makes you realize that you don't have that when you see all of your friends going home for the holidays, spending time with their loved ones, making Christmas dinner together. They even have this tradition here called the unexpected guest, which I find very beautiful. And this is why I specifically said intimacy. A lot of people, specifically men, use sex as a way to get intimacy. But nowadays, especially during the winter, I just want to cuddle. I want to hug somebody. I want to be in the presence of somebody else. I was seeing this girl for a few months. I asked her to be my girlfriend, even though we were doing long distance. I broke up with her a couple weeks later because I realized the relationship didn't make sense. We were living in 2 completely different countries, and it's only like an hour-and-a-half flight for us to see each other. The logistics around it were just extremely complicated. And the only reason why I asked her to be my girlfriend in the first place was because I feel like I was feeling extremely lonely, and that wasn't fair to her at all. But then I also had the realization that because we were doing long distance and I could not physically be with her, and it was so difficult for us to be together. Sometimes it almost felt worse knowing that I had a girlfriend but I couldn't be with her instead of just being alone altogether. I think the winter plays tricks on all of us because I have this theory, like the winter cuff theory. It's quite common in these countries that during the winter people want to be in relationships, and I think that's one of the reasons why relationships here in Poland are so strong in general. And when the weather forces you indoors, you spend a lot more time with your significant other. Every single season has a vibe, and you change throughout every single season as well. This is why when you meet somebody when you're on vacation, it always feels so exciting, but it's never really sustainable because you met and you got to experience that love in a vacation setting, which is not real life. Whereas when you're living in a place and you have all 4 seasons, you get to see how they act during the summer, during the winter, and I think you see a lot more sides of a person when you get to experience all 4 seasons with them. One of the things that helped me a lot this winter is spending a lot of time with my friends. The first couple of winters, I was in a co-living building in Krakow, and I had a lot of my friends that lived in the building. Winters never felt lonely. I was always surrounded by people. But moving here to Warsaw, it's a little bit harder to find that. To be honest, it's been totally okay so far because I make it a point to see my friends at least once a week. During the winter, you have both extremes. It's a time where you can really deepen the friendships and the connections you have already. But if you don't have any of those friendships, then you feel extremely lonely, and it feels even lonelier than normal. This is one of the things a lot of foreigners don't talk about when moving to a new country. If you're not set up properly, if you don't have friends, if you don't have a network here, it's very easy to fall into that depression trap.
One pro tip is to make sure you spend a lot of time outside during the winter. If you go out for a walk every single day for at least maybe 30 minutes to an hour, it greatly improves your mood. One of the problems is that the time change is so drastic. So during the summer, I usually will go out around 5 to 7 p.m. You have to do it like way earlier, around 12 to 2. That's when you get the best lighting because it gets dark very quickly. But trust me, walking helps a lot. Make sure you do it.
One of the best things about the winter though is the fashion. Summer fashion is super boring. Fall fashion to me is the best. When it's cold outside and you can layer, you can wear cardigans and jackets and coats, I absolutely love it. One of the downsides of Poland is that the shopping here in general is quite bad, so you really have to know where to look if you want to get some good quality clothing.
Dressing for the winter is nice, but I have so many different clothes layers on. I have to put like the thermal pants under and jeans. It takes a lot of work just to leave your house.
People still go out though, which is surprising to me, especially if you go around the center and all the bars and clubs. People dress up for the winter. Everyone's wearing nice coats and nice dresses. One of the things I love the most about this country is that it's so family oriented, and I think this gets way more heightened during the holidays. You don't only see like immediate nuclear families with the parents and the kids. Grandparents are all involved. Everybody's doing family trips together, especially during the Christmas market. The Christmas market is like way catered towards family and kids, and it is very beautiful to see all of that. I've always wanted a family, but ever since I turned 30, now I see parents with their kids pushing the strollers around, taking their kids to the Christmas markets. Man, I have crazy baby fever too. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I see that and I really want that for my life.
In some ways, I do think Poland gets a bad reputation for the winters, but I think it has more to do with not being prepared for the winter than the actual cold itself. First couple years that I was here, I didn't have good proper winter clothes, so I didn't want to go outside that much, because then if you have winter clothes, it makes being outside a lot easier. And to be honest, it's not as cold as you think it is.
If you guys are interested in moving to Poland, I highly recommend setting up a strategy call with me here. We can talk about which city is the best for you, how to find apartment and lodging, how to bring money, how to get a peso, how to get a bank account, how to legalize here. There's a lot of things that I wish I knew before moving to Poland that would have saved me so much time, money, and effort. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.